Looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, must be a duck. Hello, I'm artist Michael Binkley, and I'd like to tell you about another one of the original stone sculptures that we have for sale here in our gallery in Squamish, British Columbia, Canada. This is a wildlife sculpture of a stylized duck. I've taken inspiration from the merganser ducks. The duck is looking backwards over its right shoulder, and this is its bill, and it's got a sort of a long crest that comes off the back of the duck's head, which is like a merganser duck. I've carved the sculpture from sodalite, which is a gem-like stone that comes from Bancroft, Ontario. There's other locations around the world, but the deepest blue that I've been able to find is the kind that comes from the now defunct Princess Mines in Bancroft, Ontario, Canada. Sodalite is the blue portion of this stone, and in amongst the blue are little tiny flecks of white that look to me like stars in a midnight sky. The host stone is nepheline, which is the gray and black stone. But what I'd like to talk about here is my abilities as a direct stone carver shine through with this particular sculpture. Stone sculpture traditionally has been created using a malleable material, usually clay, in which the artist would compose his composition and, using the clay, adjust mistakes until the composition was satisfactory, and then the sculptor would either themselves transpose the composition to a monochromatic stone, usually white marble, or would have a series of stone technicians. And the material itself was not an important part of the composition. It actually took the back seat to the composition of the sculpture. That's why we see so many marble sculptures in museums across Europe, all in white marble. Everyone loves to look at the composition. The material itself sort of takes a back seat. However, with this particular composition, this shows my abilities as a sculptor to analyze the shape of a particular piece of stone, the color patterns in it, and try to bring out the most successful sculpture from that stone. And this is a great example of my ability to do that. It's a very colorful stone, a lot of busy swirling patterns in it. So what would I make from it? Well, I thought I'd make a waterfall. And my abilities to take a look at the patterns of the stone and adjust the composition of the sculpture to best marry into the patterns of the stone is exemplified here. Then, for instance, things like the black in the nepheline, I've tried to make it go across the eye line of the bird and continuing into its crest, using the blue to accentuate the ruffled feathers of the wings of the duck as they're tucked up to its body. It's also a kinetic sculpture, so I've balanced it on a single point on its belly so that it can turn on a flat surface. And this gives you the ability to look at all angles of the sculpture without having to walk around the sculpture. And you can see from the back here that I've carried that blue through the feathers around to the other side. The tail feathers are again the black and gray. So this is an example of a successful direct carve sculpture, utilizing the color patterns of the stone to best advantage to create an interesting sculpture that one appreciates the colors and the patterns of the stone almost as much, if not more, than the composition itself. In order to bring out the wonderful colors of the sodalite, I've polished the entire sculpture to a high glossy sheen. You can see how light reflects off it. You can even see the reflection of yourself in the stone. This sculpture also exemplifies my ability to create a contained composition. You can notice how the edges of the wing lines, the surfaces of the back and the tail and the breast and the head all flow into one another and carry the viewer's eye around the sculpture. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Squamish, and the sun is streaming through the gallery windows, so it really shows off the colors of this particular stone. If you'd like to add this sculpture to your art collection, Send me an email to info@michaelbinkley.com or give me a call or shoot me a text to country code 1-604-984-8574. And if you want more information on this particular sculpture or any of the artworks that are available here in the gallery, please visit michaelbinkley.com. Thanks for watching.